Voynich Manuscript, which many claim to be the most mysterious book, has apparently been decoded. But many scholars and conspiracy theorists have claimed the same thing over the years. So is the Voynich Manuscript code finally cracked? Hi there, welcome to our channel. Today we're going to talk about yet another interesting topic in history and literature that you shouldn't miss out on. The Voynich Manuscript, which is thought to be from the 15th or 16th century, has been puzzling the minds of many scholars, scientists, and even conspiracy theorists with its meaning and purpose. Throughout the years, cryptology experts and deciphering specialists worldwide have made unsuccessful efforts to decode the mysteries within the book. Has an answer finally arrived? Before we answer that question, we want to know, have you heard of the Voynich Manuscript before? If so, what were your thoughts about it? Tell us in the comments below. The Voynich Manuscript is an illustrated book written in an unrecognizable language and believed to have been crafted in the 15th or 16th century. It bears the name of antiquarian book merchant Wilfrid Voynich, who acquired it in 1912. Since its discovery, experts and researchers have strived to unravel the meaning of the text. Since 1969, it has been preserved at Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library. Measuring 8.9 by 6.3 inches, the Voynich Codex comprises 102 lavishly illustrated parchment folios, equivalent to approximately 234 pages. The manuscript is divided into 6 segments based on the drawings due to the still undeciphered nature of the language: botanical studies, astronomy and astrology depictions, biological imagery, cosmological illustrations, a section focusing on pharmaceutical subjects, and a portion containing continuous text accompanied by ornamentation, indicating the start of brief entries, likely recipes. The botanical section, which constitutes the manuscript's largest part, contains 113 intricate and vibrant renditions of plants and herbs, accompanied by text carefully intertwined with the imagery. Following this, the astronomy and astrology section spans 12 pages and showcases drawings of constellations, the sun, the moon, and occasionally zodiac symbols. The third part displays illustrations of unclothed women intertwined by tubes and connected by what seem to be flowing liquids. The fourth division, centered on cosmology, is made up of 9 medallion-like drawings filled with stars and other forms. The pharmaceutical segment circles back to plants and herbs, featuring depictions of plants with presumed medicinal properties. Unlike the botanical part, many pages in this section exhibit drawings of ornate jars and containers, sometimes featuring numerous herb varieties on a single page. While the visual content, such as the depictions of plants, is to some extent understandable, as scholars and researchers have dedicated substantial effort to identifying the depicted herbs and plants, the written text remains an enigma. A multitude of scholars, linguists, cryptanalysts, and other intrigued individuals have endeavored to decode the unfamiliar script with minimal success. The manuscript's origin and precise creation date remain unknown. However, substantial investigation has indicated that its genesis likely occurred in Central Europe. Radiocarbon dating has attributed its origins to the early 15th century. A long-standing hypothesis, which was disproven through radiocarbon dating performed in 2009, posited that the manuscript was the work of 13th century English scientist Roger Bacon. The initial possessor of the manuscript might have been Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II, who ruled from 1576 to 1611. In 1912, the book came into the possession of Wilfrid Voynich, who acquired it from a Jesuit college near Rome. Voynich arranged several exhibitions featuring the manuscript, including one held at the Art Institute of Chicago in 1915. He invested considerable effort into unlocking the text's meaning and enlisted the aid of University of Pennsylvania philosophy professor William Newbold. In 1921, both Voynich and Newbold presented lectures on the manuscript, referring to it as the Roger Bacon cipher manuscript, and asserting that it was discovered in a castle in southern Europe. Eventually, the manuscript was obtained from Voynich's estate in 1961 by New York bookseller Hans P. Krauss, who subsequently donated it to the Beinecke Library in 1969. Since then, numerous individuals, including distinguished World War II cryptanalysts William and Elizabeth Friedman, art historian Erwin Panofsky, intelligence experts, and scholars from disciplines like chemistry, law, mathematics, medieval philosophy, and more, have endeavored to unravel the text's meaning. Several works, encompassing both fictional and factual accounts, as well as academic dissertations, have been authored regarding the enigmatic manuscript, but none of them were ultimately able to decipher the book. The Voynich Manuscript does seem like a very complex book. Do you think that anyone would be able to unravel its meaning? Tell us what you think in the comments below. An academic asserting to have unraveled the enigma has unveiled that the purported Voynich Manuscript was, in reality, composed in a Proto-Romance language. Dr. Gerard Cheshire, a research collaborator at Bristol, asserts his strong conviction in this discovery. Languages like Spanish and French today come from an older form of Latin called Vulgar Latin. Dr. Cheshire believes that the secret language in the Voynich Code came before today's languages, like Portuguese, Italian, and Romanian. In a statement, he remarked, "I underwent a sequence of eureka instances during the process of deciphering the code, succeeded by a feeling of astonishment and enthusiasm, as I comprehended the significance of the accomplishment, encompassing its linguistic significance and the revelations concerning the manuscript's source and substance. The key discovery in figuring out the code was realizing that the original text was written in a language that doesn't exist anymore. This language came before modern European languages like Spanish. This old language is called Proto-Romance, hence his claim, and it's unique because it was used in everyday conversations, unlike Latin, which was used for writing. Once this link was found, Cheshire was able to decode the manuscript's content in just 2 weeks. One part of the manuscript shows a drawing of 2 women trying to manage 5 children in a bathtub. The drawing has words next to it describing different moods. Tozoser, which is translated as noisy or too loud, or la la, which is translated as on the edge or becoming impatient. Tolora, which means silly or foolish. Noror, which translates as cloudy or sad. Aus, which means golden bird or well-behaved. And Oleos, which is translated as oiled or slippery. These words still have connections to the languages we use today. One of the kids' caretakers is called or la la, which might be related to the French phrase oh la la. On another page, there are pictures of volcanic eruptions with notes about rescues and new islands forming. Proto-Romance is like the grandparent of Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian, Romanian, Catalan, and Galician we use today. Even though Latin was the official language of rulers, the church, and government in medieval times, Proto-Romance was widespread in the Mediterranean. The Aragon Kingdom in Spain controlled parts of southern France, Italy, and the Mediterranean islands. Because it was used casually, we lost many records of it, but now experts can look at its strange symbols and old punctuation marks to learn more about how our languages developed. The scholar's next plan is to translate over 200 pages of the manuscript and create a list of words for future experts to analyze and study their importance in the language. They'll also look into what the contents of the manuscript reveal about that time period. But there is also another notable claim by a German Egyptologist about cracking the code to the enigmatic illustrated book. After studying it for 3 years, Rainer Hannig, a German Egyptologist from the Romer und Pelagius Museum in Hildesheim, thinks he has finally solved the mystery. In contrast to Dr. Cheshire's claims, Hannig believes that the manuscript's language is rooted in Hebrew. Hannig's argument starts with his assertion that the structure of the words in the manuscript makes only one explanation plausible. The text wasn't written in an Indo-European language. After thorough analysis, Hannig concluded that the language used must be from the Semitic language family. Considering the European themes depicted in the illustrations, he narrowed down the possibilities to Arabic, Aramaic, or Hebrew languages that European scholars of the Middle Ages were familiar with. He managed to connect certain characters in the Voynich manuscript with Hebrew characters and succeeded in translating the first words and eventually complete sentences. Hannig notes that fully translating the Voynich manuscript will require several years of work, even if experts in the Hebrew language, especially those well-versed in medieval Hebrew and the terminology of botanical and medical texts, take on the analysis. He explains that the script's nature, the pronunciation nuances, the peculiarities, and the vocabulary from that period will pose challenges, even for someone who is a native speaker of Hebrew. There were already suspicions that Hebrew might be the language used in the script, including those raised by a computer algorithm-based study in 2016. However, experts had doubts about the methods used in that study, and no trustworthy translation was generated as a result. Additionally, some individuals have argued that the manuscript is fake and that the text within it is simply a prank. However, the parchment's radiocarbon dating and in-depth linguistic analyses, such as the work done by Marcelo Montemurro, which revealed noticeable language patterns, appear to suggest otherwise. While there is still no completely successful attempt at solving the Voynich manuscript, decoding it is crucial for historical insights into medieval culture, linguistics, and the evolution of languages. It offers an opportunity to advance code-breaking techniques, showcasing the progress in cryptography. Also, the manuscript's intricate illustrations could unveil artistic and cultural significance, while its botanical and astronomical sections might yield scientific discoveries. Moreover, uncovering its origins and content could contribute to our understanding of the historical context, authors, and societies of that era, ultimately enriching our knowledge of history, language, and culture. What are your thoughts so far? Which claim appears to be more convincing to you? We'd love to see your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a like, hit subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Thanks for watching.